I wonder what was going through Nintendo's heads in the 80s. First Donkey Kong game, platformer. Second Donkey Kong game, platformer. Third Donkey Kong game, Bug Exterminator Simulator, obviously. The first Donkey Kong game was a phenomenon that effectively started the platforming genre completely on its own. Donkey Kong Jr. was another platforming game that continued the story of the first one and changed things up while maintaining a similar core experience. And naturally, Donkey Kong 3 was a vertical shoot-'em-up. In it, you play as Stanley the Bugman, who shoots a monkey with bug spray to make him climb up 2 ropes. Now, you probably have a few questions, like, where is Mario? What does this have to do with any of the other games? And why did they make this? I don't know. Donkey Kong 3 is often considered to have killed the Donkey Kong franchise for a while. There was a DK game each year for 3 years, and then after this one, the series went on an 11-year break. I disagree. I think this game was more so just a victim of the times it came out in. This game came out in October of 1983. It wasn't this game's fault that it failed. It was his fault that it failed. Yeah, him. The video game crash of 1983 was basically everyone just looking around and saying, hey, these old games that barely work, they're kinda terrible. We should stop buying them. Most people consider E.T. the video game to have been the cause of the crash, because it was so bad that people realized that none of these games were worth buying. When Nintendo came out with the NES in 1985, not only was it good, but it was so good that it took over the entire American market. Speaking of the NES, that's the version I'll be playing today. This could have been the greatest game ever made, and it still probably would have failed over here. It did pretty well in Japan, and it still gets pretty good reviews nowadays. This game didn't kill Donkey Kong or anything like that. Nintendo just decided to go in a different direction, that's all. A lot of people still really like this game, and I'm definitely one of them. In fact, I think it's the best arcade Donkey Kong game of the 80s. To explain why I like it so much, I feel like I need to give you guys some context. Remember that multicade thing I talked about in the Donkey Kong 1 review? When I wasn't playing Donkey Kong 1 on that thing, I was playing one of the top-down shoot-'em-ups. They had 1942, 1943, it had Galaxian, it had Xevious. But by far my favorite out of all of them had to be Galaga. I'm probably gonna make a whole video about how much I love Galaga. It might just be my favorite game that I've ever played, actually. Even though arcades have been dead for decades, you can still see that Miss Pac-Man and Galaga combo machine pretty much everywhere. There's a reason Galaga lived while pretty much every other game like it died. But that's a topic for another time. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. My point is, this game feels just like one of those vertical shoot-'em-ups I used to love as a kid. Basically, Donkey Kong is a boss, and all of the bees and other insects around him are his minions. Keeping with the insect theme, the game's main music is Flight of the Bumblebee. It can be really fun to balance shooting Donkey Kong and trying to deal with all of the enemies around him. It's stressful, but in that fun sort of way. If you die, then a super sprayer spawns in, and if you get that thing, then you can basically beat the level in about 3 seconds. The game is definitely easier than the first two, but I'm not complaining. The first two were kinda miserable. This also might be the first game ever made where up is jump, but that's not a bad thing. It kinda just feels like you'd be flying up in another vertical shooter. It feels really smooth. Okay, so I just realized that there are also these flower things at the bottom of the screen that you have to protect. I don't think I ever lost one the entire time I was playing, so I just kind of forgot. Do you want to know the real reason why this is my favorite Donkey Kong game? Because there's no fall damage! I'm so happy! To be serious, the real reason is that it's just way more fast-paced and fun than the first two. I don't think that this game is like a masterpiece or anything, but I feel like it gets way too much hate. I feel like the main reason for that is that it is not really a Donkey Kong game. It's not even the same genre as the first two. Honestly, if this game wasn't called Donkey Kong 3, it would be way better reviewed. You could replace Donkey Kong with literally anyone, and it would be better. On paper, a game where you play as an exterminator and you have to kill a bunch of bugs sounds amazing. Why not just make Donkey Kong like a big spider or something? This game just feels like a random shoot-'em-up that they decided to slap Donkey Kong onto. I'm not gonna go level by level like I did with the first two games. All of the levels just kind of feel the same. That's not a bad thing, by the way, I'm not complaining. I mean, Pac-Man and Galaga only have one level, and look how they turned out. And with that, I guess we're done. 7 out of 10. Have a good day, everyone.